What's going on, guys? I'm back with another YouTube video, and today we're going to be talking about what the Vancouver Canucks top 6 could potentially look like on opening night. I made a video talking about this earlier in the week over on my Instagram page, but I wanted to expand on my reasonings and why I think these line combinations make the most sense. But before we get into this video, I wanted to shout out this new project that I'm a part of, YVR Hockey. This season we'll be covering all Canucks and PWHL Vancouver content, news, and daily memes, all that good stuff. I'll put the link in my bio, and I would love for you guys to go check it out. Anyways, our first player we're going to be talking about is first line left winger Jake DeBrusk. Now, there's an argument to be made for either DeBrusk or Kane to be starting on the top line, and there's no doubt they'll both get their chances and opportunities. I just think you have to start with Jake DeBrusk. He scored 28 goals last season, playing on Petey's wing, which was honestly a bright spot in a very disappointing year. He's earned that opportunity to at least start the season there, in my mind. The one knock against DeBrusk is that throughout his career, he has dealt with offensive inconsistency. In his 8-year career in the NHL, he scored 25 plus goals 4 times, but he's only scored 50 plus points once. Now, if the Canucks can get another 25 goal plus season out of DeBrusk, that's huge. And for the value of his contract, 6 more years at $5.5 million per, which is a great contract, by the way. Now, I've said this a lot throughout the last few months, but I really do believe Elias Pettersson will bounce back this year. And that's why I could see DeBrusk having a career year, maybe getting 60 plus points for the first time. Now, obviously, our first line center is going to be Elias Pettersson. I'm so ready for this new NHL season to start, just so we can leave the past in the past and we can just finally forget about last season. Last season was disappointing. It just wasn't a fun year to be a Canucks fan. Pettersson had one of his worst seasons statistically in the 7 years he's been a Canuck. I really don't see Pettersson having another disappointing season, considering he had 102 points just 2 years ago. Pettersson himself even said in an interview, "I feel great. I had a good summer. I'm excited to be back." Also mentioning that he's gained 6 kilos this offseason. Getting stronger and being 100% healthy going into the season is only going to help Petey get back to that elite two-way center he once was. Don't sleep on Petey. One of the OG members of the famous Lotto line will more than likely be playing on Pettersson's wing this season, Brock Boeser. Fresh off a contract extension, 7 years, $7.25 million. Boeser's clearly still a huge part of this core. I believe it. The fans believe it. Management believes it. I just think if we had lost Brock Boeser to free agency this offseason, that would have set us back even further, putting even more pressure on the younger players we have in the system to produce and play heavier minutes. Look, the Canucks absolutely need Boeser to get back to his 30 goal per season ways. It just has to happen. 30, 40 goals this year. In his 8 seasons as a Canuck, Boeser scored 50 plus points 5 times. He's a one-time 40 goal scorer. Let's just hope for 30 goals this year. I can't wait for Brocktober. All right, moving on to our second line left winger, Evander Kane. Kane was acquired this offseason for a top 100 pick in this past NHL draft. I've said it before, I like this trade a lot for Vancouver. It addresses a need that the Canucks were missing a lot last season with the departure of Nikita Zadorov, that physicality element, hard-nosed, pain in the ass to play against type of player. Obviously, he's on an expiring contract, so it's hard to say what the Canucks will do. Probably just depends on how things go this season. In my eyes, it's an upgrade over a player like Dakota Joshua. Adding an Evander Kane into your offensive lineup and playing him alongside someone like Chytil, it will help open up more space for Chytil, and Kane can be Chytil's bodyguard this season. Our second line center to play with Evander Kane will be none other than Chytil. Like I just mentioned, there's a ton of questions and concerns surrounding Chytil and if he can actually be the Canucks 2C this year. Obviously, injuries are the main concern. He's dealt with 2 concussions, multiple upper body injuries, multiple lower body injuries. He very well could be one more bad hit or injury away from being cooked. I really do think Kane would be a perfect fit on Chytil's wing simply because Chytil likes to carry and rush the puck into the offensive zone, and having a player like Kane on your wing will definitely take the eyes off of Chytil. It'll give Chytil more space to create offensive scoring chances, but that's just my opinion. I really like that this Canucks team has a lot of players that have something to prove this season. Those guys have a huge opportunity to shut a lot of people up, prove a lot of people wrong, get the Canucks back into the playoffs. Lastly, our second line right winger is Connor Garland. Connor Garland deserves the chance to at least start in the top 6 this year. Sure, players like Höglander, Sherwood, Drew O'Connor, maybe even Linus Karlsson will all see elevated minutes at some point, just depending on matchups and how they're playing at the time. But Garland's a scrappy, high-motor winger who just brings it every night, and he's honestly one of my favorite players to watch on this team. And another perfect fit for this second line with Kane and Chytil. It sets up Chytil perfectly because he doesn't have to be the one to go into the corners and, put himself in a vulnerable position to get get another concussion. Garland is an expert along the boards, in the corners. He'll be able to get the puck to Chytil in open space, and having Kane on the other wing, same thing. They can play a similar forechecking, hard-nosed game. Sounds like the perfect second line for this team. I have a lot of confidence in this team, not just because they're my favorite team, but because this team is full of good and great players that have playoff experience, that have the hunger and the desire to get Vancouver back into the playoffs, but also just prove all of those doubters wrong, the outside noise, and just to finally put an end to it. Alvin's done a great job picking up the pieces that Benning left behind and trying to build a competitive roster to bring a Stanley Cup to Vancouver. Listen, I'm always going to be a Canucks fan, ride or die. That's my team. It always has been and it always will be. But trust me, bro, this is our year. Anyways, guys, I appreciate all the support lately. Thank you so much for 200 subscribers. I just can't wait for this NHL season to start already. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on the potential top 6 the Canucks could have on opening night. Let me know in the comments. Until next time, peace.